Hey everybody, this is Jose. We are about to start in like 30 seconds. Let's use this time for a sound check. Please confirm to me with a quick message on the chat box that you hear my voice. That would be great for me to know, so I know we are ready to start. Thank you so much. Very nice. Thank you so much, Dirk. Perfect. So we got 5 seconds to go. Very good. We just got to the top of the hour, so it's time to start. So let me maximize the introduction slide. That way we can have a proper official formal start of the session, and we go for it. Hello everyone. Welcome to the session. Today is December 30, 2019. My name is Jose Blasco. I will be your guide today in the get together session. Today we're getting together for short-term trading purposes. So we're going to be looking at intraday opportunities using futures as well as using Forex. We'll be using a collection of tools to identify the trades, to plan the setups, confirm that our rules are met, and then execute together. Also, probably most of us are aware that 30 minutes from now, the US market will open, so we are expecting additional volatility, speed of movement, etc. Even though, of course, we are at the time of the year where we got less trading and less volume than normal, so that could also be a slow day. We'll see what it is. In any case, we're gonna be ready to execute, and I am expecting from you guys to work together. As I always say, teamwork, isn't it? So, of course, I'll be leading the session, but all your feedback, comments, and sometimes it happens. I may make a mistake as well, and you guys correct me. So all of that feedback and more is certainly welcome. Okay. But before we start, we have a disclaimer. So I will read it quickly. That way we can start. So disclaimer: the following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual result. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive on using our products. And this means that we are done with the introduction. The session is officially introduced. We got here a trading view with Forex. Okay, we got time frames, as you can see in the below part, 240.21. In my other tab, I got also well, actually, I'm looking at Microsoft, so let's switch to Forex. But my point is that we have different time frames here. The time frames that we have is the 60-minute time frame below, and on the top we got 8 minutes. And of course, to help us with setting up the trades and finding the opportunities without having to go one chart at a time, we got TradeStation with a beautiful and very convenient red screen where we are running auto climate, and we are looking for the golden color alerts, which are basically pointing at what could be potential opportunities for us to plan and execute. Okay, so just to train our eyes, okay, and I can see your hellos on the chat box, and you know it's nice to have you guys today in the last session of the year. And certainly, I can see many of your names are familiar names, meaning that you are regularly attending the sessions, but at the same time, some of you may be watching this for the first time. So very quickly, I want to make sure we all understand. On the very left, we got futures markets. Common time frame is 15 on the markets on the top. So we are shooting for very short-term trading there because the liquidity is very high, and therefore we can dive deep down the time frames and be as precise as possible. Then we got 60-minute time frame futures markets. Okay, they are just a little less liquid, still very liquid, but less liquid. So we're using the common time frame 60, and then the last one here on the left, Lean Hogs, 240 minutes. That would be our common time frame. The windows on the middle on the right side, those are all currency pairs. It's all Forex. On the right, on the very right, is all cross pairs, and because cross pairs are naturally less liquid, so we are dealing with 240-minute time frames. Where in the middle we got the majors, which are the most liquid currency pairs, and therefore we are dealing with 60-minute common time frames as well as 240-minute time frames. Okay, it's just for everybody to be focused. So what are we doing here? Well, we are looking for golden signals, like for example the one that just showed up here with gold. Okay, gold. So when you see a gold signal like that, what do? We go ahead and we open the corresponding workspace, which is the GC contract. Now, one thing we need to do as well, okay, especially I always talk about it because it is relevant, guys. When dealing with markets that have expiration dates that happen quite often, such as commodities, energies, metals. So you always want to get into the habit of using a website such as bar chart, so you can just click on the symbol, in this case gold, as you can see, and confirm the right symbol to be used. In this case, we can see the letter G, GCG20, and then go ahead and reconfirm with the volume and open interest values that the G is indeed the highest liquidity contract available as we speak. That way, when I go back to my TradeStation, I want to make sure I'm using the G, which I am. But remember, those in many of those markets, we got expiration days that happen sometimes as often as 1 month. And therefore, it's easy if you don't pay attention to be trading the wrong symbol. Okay, so we want to make sure that is not the case. Okay, so what do we have? We have the right symbol, we have gold, we look at the climate. Okay, the climate is a confirmed climate. We knew that because of the red screen. We got one blue dot. One blue dot means that the climate is a confirmed climate to the upside, so we want to be buyers. And statistics suggest that this climate may last 5.82 bars, and this is bar number 1, so 1 out of 6, right? So we are at the beginning of a climate, and if statistics end up happening the way they are supposed to happen, then we're gonna get to see gold move up and keep moving up for a little bit. In other words, we want to catch that move. So how do we do that? Well, in order to do that, we now look at the average price, which is 1515, and then we want to find UFOs lining up with 1515. And certainly we have 2 UFOs there lining up with 1515. Okay, so that would be a valid entry for the trade. That one would not, because the ending part is 1515, so that one would not qualify. Okay, but the one below 15.9 will certainly overlap with that one, which finishes at 14.5, which is also here 14.5. Okay, so in other words, we would end up with a stop located at 1514. Let me say that again, 1514.4. That would be the location for the stop, which is going to be right below that value. Okay, 1514.4, and also below this particular value. Okay, so what is the top part of this one? It's 1515, which is the average value. Okay, and therefore that would qualify as our entry. Okay, so we're very close to entry. Actually, depending on when you plan the trade, you may be in the trade already. Okay, because we had overlapping UFOs, not anymore, but a few minutes ago we did. So some of you may be already in. Here we go. I'm reading your message, Bojan. Good one. Okay, good one. Certainly what you did makes a lot of sense. In my case, of course, I can only work with the information I have, and right now, I will be planning the trade entering at 1515. Okay, so I may miss the trade. You may not miss it. I may miss it. Good news for me, if I do enter the trade, I'll have less risk than you, but at the same time, I may miss it where you are not likely to. Okay, so that's where we are at. Now, targets. Let's look for targets. Okay, I'm activating AutoUFO in the 15-minute time frame, looking for the target. Okay, and it doesn't seem that we have anything overhead. Okay, so I want to check where we're at in the daily time frame. Okay, so we may need to go back in time all the way to October, September, yeah, something like that. So I'm just gonna load data all the way to September earlier this year. Okay, so minute time frame 15, and we're gonna load data starting September 1st, 2019 to see if I get to see red UFOs above price, because those would be my targets, isn't it? So zooming out, UFOs, where are you? Well, it's still pending data, you can see on the left. Here we go. So now it does seem that we're gonna get to see a little bit of red in just a minute. Okay, still processing data here. We're just gonna wait until we have the chart properly calculated. Of course, it's a lot of data to be processed here, since I was loading data all the way to September. right? And it's going to take a little bit of time for TradeStation to process all of this. Not only TradeStation is processing everything related to on-field orders, also the climate. I could have disabled the climate to alleviate a little bit this process, okay? Okay, so we just need to be patient here. Gold is still there in that place, okay? So we're just gonna have to wait a little more until we get there. Okay, calculating studies and or strategies. Come on. I should have turned off auto climate to alleviate the processing power, because of course this is futures. So multiple ticks are entering, and every time the whole thing needs to be recalculated. So we have real-time information. So I may miss it. Okay, now, not yet. Okay, so made a little bit of a mistake there. I could have been more efficient with my sequence of clicks to alleviate TradeStation. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna try to close the workspace. Okay, yeah, really too much processing going on right now. Okay, so I'm just gonna do something here. So I'm just gonna do something. Here we go. Kill TS processes. Here we go. So I'm just killing TradeStation in a pretty aggressive manner, as you can see. Again, just to save time, and I'm just gonna reload it very quickly. And as I reload it, I'm gonna be able to do this more efficiently. I should have done that before, actually. Anyway, so reloading TradeStation here. Here we go. So we're gonna get to see the red screen workspace that I was using earlier. Yeah, I also have the S&P 500, which we don't need now. So I'm gonna close it, reopen gold, and this time I'll do it properly so we don't get in trouble. Could have done that better, as I said. Sorry for that, guys. But again, running to get to the right place. Have you reached already T1? Yeah, you're already there. Got it. Good job, Ojan. Good job. Good job, Bill, as well. I can see you're in. Good one. Okay, so let's do this. So this time I'm gonna do it right. Okay, I'm gonna disable auto climate. Okay, I'm going to load data all the way to September 2019. Okay, and now I'm gonna use my offline command, okay, to work offline. Now I will activate AutoUFOs. Okay, and this now should be able to give me the UFOs quickly with no effort. Here we go. You see how easy it was? I should have done it like that earlier, isn't it? So gold contract 1521.2, that should be the target for the trade. Okay, and now that I know my target, I'm just gonna very quickly disable auto UFO and basically undo what I did, which is go back to my normal amount of bars, which is 500, go back to auto climate. Well, actually not the, yes, go back to auto climate. Okay, and reconnect by using the command online. So working online, and now it's gonna ask me for the password again. Okay, and everything is back to normal. Okay, so very good. So we are back in. Yeah, I can, I can see that the trade is working very nicely at this moment in time with UFOs kicking in. So that's a nice one to see. So anyway, so let's revalidate everything, because a new UFO form. Okay, so maybe we have a different setup now. So 15.2 is the average. 15.2 is falling in the bottom part of this UFO that ends with 15.1. Okay, so the real entry would be this UFO. Okay, so I'm going to use this UFO 15.7. Of course, 15.1, if I place my stop below, is going to be touching that next UFO. Okay, so I need to put those two UFOs together. I can also see that UFO overlapping. That one is also overlapping. Yeah, so it's all overlapping, so it's good. So 15.7 would be the entry. Okay, I'm just going to click with two contracts to buy two contracts at 15.7. Okay, so the order is in. We said 14.4 would be the stop. Okay, so that means, if I'm not mistaken with the math, 15.17.1 would be the safety target, and my final target would be 15.21.2. Okay, so you're gonna get to see everything on the screen in just a second, and you'll be able to either replicate the trade or take a screenshot easily. Okay, you can see the entry 0.7 entering with this UFO. Stop is below that UFO, which is also below that UFO, falling on the white space on the chart. Also here on the left, white space on the chart. Also here in the middle, white space on the chart. And then safety target, equal distance. And then finally, final target is 15.21.2. Okay, so we may get a feel, we may not get a feel. I mean, certainly it started already moving. Lucky us, we got a new UFO that formed here. So if we were to have a little bit of a retracement, a point or so, we may get filled on the entry if the development of the climate, which is already candle number 2, if the development continue, we may miss the fill, and therefore, good job again, Bill and Bojan, being in this trade. Okay, cool. Okay. Mark, could you have made the entry and set the safety target and stop before you find the final target? I could have, but at the same time, one of the rules that we have is that the safety stop needs to be located prior to where the final target is. And if you don't know where the final target is, then you may have a bad surprise later on, which is that your safety target happens to be beyond the final target. Okay, so certainly with a little bit of experience, you would know that since you had to load more candles to find the final target, so your proposal makes 100% sense, Mark. But let's say for coaching purposes or guidance purposes in the sessions, I prefer to not to jump around too much and just follow a sequence that is always the same. Okay, but certainly makes sense. Dirk is in the trade as well. Very good, guys. Very nice job. So let's continue. Okay, we got the trade with crude oil. With gold here. We got more flashing lights earlier. We got a flashing light with the Nasdaq. Okay, but with the Nasdaq we got gray color, which means the climate is not confirmed. Okay, so we're gonna leave it alone for now. Crude oil is also giving us an alert, but we have the word hopeful with crude oil. Okay, hopeful with crude oil. 16 candles going up where it should be 5. Okay, so really stretched. Okay, so basically out of the futures markets at this moment in time as we speak, that's what we've got. Okay, for sure a few minutes from now we'll have new flashing lights and new opportunities for us to exploit, but not right now. Okay, stop has been moved to 15.8. Let me take a look at that. Yeah, I can see that right below this one, isn't it? 15.9. So you went 2.8, which is above your entry. So very nice. So this trade is going to be profitable no matter what. So good job there. Yeah, good. Perfect. Okay. So let's continue. So let's go back to the red screens, and let's begin looking at opportunities in the Forex markets, since the futures markets right now, as we speak, are not providing us with anything. Okay, and this one is, it's 0.53, is about to flash. Okay, because I got the alert. Here we go, it just flashed. So I got the alert set up at 0.5. That's how I knew it was going to flash. Okay, but we got the word hopeful, and here I got 0.98, 0.88, 0.66. So crude oil may flash, but again, it's hopeful too. So basically everything at this moment in time is a little bit stretched. So we just need to wait. Okay, and if you are in the gold trade, good job, and let's allow for that trade to keep progressing. Now, Forex, what do we have? Well, in the middle, we have no flashing lights at this moment. Okay, so therefore, nothing to check. 0.61. So US dollar CAD may flash in a minute. Okay, and it's sensible, so that's good. Aussie may flash in a minute, 0.77, and is sensible. That's good. But this is 1.33, 11, 1.02, 172. All of those are stretch markets. And on top of that, they're hopeful. So we're going to forget about those. Okay. And here in the bottom part, everything is hopeful too. So yeah. So it seems that in the middle part, we may have an alert with US dollar CAD flashing in a minute, but not yet. On the right side, which is the minors, okay, we have our cross pairs. We have multiple sensible, okay? But the only one that is confirmed climate is, at this moment in time as we speak, is the GBP Kiwi, okay? Pound Kiwi, the GBP NZD, that would be the only currency pair that is giving us an opportunity as we speak. So we're gonna go take a look, okay, at the pound Kiwi by clicking on it. Everything will refresh, okay, and let's confirm what we've got. Okay, so what we've got is a confirmed climate, as we knew that thanks to the red screen. 1 out of 581, out of 481, let's call it 5. So 1 out of 5, very, very nice. Average price, okay, we can see it on the upper left, is 195.18, and certainly 195.18 happens to be the location of that particular UFO. So yes, indeed, we do have an entry, and it's right now. Okay, so not only we have an entry, it's also right now. So let's maximize the common time frame so we can activate AutoUFO and look for the target. And hopefully the target is down enough, and it is, so we can have a trade to be executed with the GBPNZD with a target located at 193.919. Now, when you see 91.9, we need to round it up to 92, isn't it? 92, and because it's a buy order, we add 2, so it's going to be 94. So 193.94 would be the short target, expecting this currency to fall, and reach that point, which is actually a nice move. It's 100 over pips, which is certainly a nice one to catch. Okay, so we're gonna go for this. In my mind, everything is looking pretty okay. I just need to confirm, yes, the entry is good, is valid, lining up with the average, and also the location for the stop, which is 47.8. Remember, we need to add 2 because it's a buy order, 5 because it's a stop. That's going to be 195.50 plus, and the next UFO happens to be 68, meaning that we will have the stop somewhere in the white space of the chart, which is where it needs to be. So in other words, we're good to go. We have a trade in front of us. So I'm loading here my Word document so I can get some space to write the parameters of the trade. Okay, so let's start from top to bottom. So the stop loss for the trade would be 1.95478. Remember, we need to round because it's a buy order, we round up, so it's 48. Second, because it's a buy order, we add 2, so 48 becomes 50. Third, because it's a stop, we add 5, so it's going to be 55. That would be the location for your stop. Short entry for this currency is actually right now. You can enter with market, okay? But again, if you were going to enter manually, that would be 195.48. Because it's a sell order, we don't do anything. We just keep that price, 195.18. Sorry for that. Okay, 195.18. Now, if that's the case, okay, where we have the difference between 55 to 18, okay, that's the difference. So we are talking about 37 pips, okay? So 195.15, 195.55 minus 195.18, 37 pips. If you project that value below 195.18, which is the entry, is going to be 194.81. That will be your safety target, okay? Safety target located at 194.81. And finally, the final target all the way below, which is the ultimate goal for this trade, as we said, would be 193.94. So in other words, the moment you reach 81, which is your safety target, you're going to travel another almost 100 pips to get to the final target. So certainly the reward to risk ratio of this trade is very, very convenient. The setup is matching our rules, and therefore this trade is valid. So go ahead calculate your size, decide if you want to take this trade with real capital or paper money, whatever your whatever you are at in your trading development, real capital or real or paper money, small size or big size. Just do your calculation, and this is the time for you to enter. Okay. Very good. Let me see. Ellen, how are you, Ellen? Jose, you may have talked about this before, so I apologize in advance if it is a repeat. But there are so many futures markets. Why does your tracker only show a very short list? Okay. Yeah, this is very simple. And you are right. We could add more futures markets to the list. Not a problem. But again, when I do the sessions, we only meet for 1 hour. So if I was to add more markets, it would be maybe a little too intense for the session to go over so many charts at the speed of the light, which for some of you that are more experienced probably would be okay, but for newer traders maybe a little too much. So I'm trying to find a balance with enough opportunities and not that many, so it's something that we can deal with. And at the same time, if we add more markets too, there is another problem, which is a problem that we need to be aware of, which is the problem of correlated opportunities. And then it makes your life a little complicated when the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones, and the Russell are entering a tradable price at the same time. So which one do you take? You may decide to take all of them with a fourth of the size, but then you didn't never had the speed enough to place the trade for all of them, and you missed the trade with half of the size, and it becomes a little bit of a pain. So again, simple works, and that's what I'm trying to do here, looking for balance, if you wish. Nothing wrong, Elaine, if in your case, in your particular case, you have a few more symbols. Nothing wrong, absolutely not. Okay, just be aware of liquidity conditions. And for example, if you were to do the YM, which is the Dow Jones, which is much less liquid, so instead of having it here on the top, okay, I would just move it down here to the 60-minute climate, because it has less liquidity, so it would be a little more reliable and realistic that you deal with it in a little bit of a larger time frame, with a larger time frame approach, if you wish. Okay. Good. Babu would like to know which time frame other futures markets go. Okay, good. So that's an easy one to answer. I'm gonna show it to you on the screen, and if you don't have this, Babu, I would like you to send an email to reach@tradewithufos.com, and we'll send it to you. But basically, this is the list of futures markets: S&P, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, Russell, 10-year note, 5-year note, 30-year bond, etc. And here you have the time frames. If you use 15 common time frame, then you would use the 2-minute time frame, and then 2584 share bars and 1597 tick charts. Okay, that would be for age, and then for reactive, and then if you use the 60, so that's your time frames, and if you use 240, so then that's your time frames. Okay, so if you don't have this particular piece of information, shoot an email, and we'll be more than happy to email you, and the way you have it, and we speak the same language. Okay, hey, opportunity with the S&P, very good. So let's go for it. Quick look at gold. We have not got filled, but it's looking good. By the way, 3 minutes from now, the market will open. So we may have a major push on gold moving towards the right direction. If that was to be the case, for you guys that are already in the trade, it may give you the opportunity to trail stop. Okay, so that's going to be nice. But for us that we are not in the trade yet, we're going to remain with the same approach and begin planning on the trade with the S&P. Okay. Helen, thanks. Was hoping you would add currencies to your tracker. Well, we do have the spot Forex, isn't it? So, but you know what, Eleni, if you guys really feel that it would be healthy, maybe to add one or two, I'm okay with doing that. Okay, again, in looking for balance, of course, your feedback is certainly not only welcome but very important. Okay, so what do we have here? Climate, we got a thick dot blue color, so the climate is confirmed to the upside. We got 5 candles into the climate. Okay, 5 candles into the climate, 5 out of 7, so it's still a good time for us to get in. Average 32.41. All of this is nice, is good, but unfortunately we have no UFO at this price level in any of the edge time frames. Okay, so at this moment in time with the S&P, it seems that we're gonna have to wait for new UFOs to form and then get in. You're in the trade, Dirk. Very nice. Yes, futures currencies. I got you, Ellen. I got you. I got you very much. Okay, uh, so I will consider that. Okay, no, not an issue, and I certainly get your point, and why not? Okay, so we'll do that. In the other hand, I will say as well that um, you may want to explore the possibility for yourself as well to develop yourself in the spot forex markets too. I'm not fully sure if you're putting time and energy there, but that could be also a good asset for you to create more diversity, thanks especially thanks to the cross pairs. Okay, so very good. So crude oil giving a little bit of a push. The US market going to open in 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Okay, so we'll see what's going to happen. More opportunities. S&P still the same. The market just opened. Okay, market just opened. S&P flashing, crude oil flashing, but we already talked about crude oil. Nasdaq flashing with a new defined climate to the downside. Okay, so S&P really. Oh, wait a minute, a new one just formed here, 41.75. Yeah, well, that's actually a valid one. That's actually a valid one. I'm not gonna be able to be fast enough to enter this trade. Yeah, I will pass because I'm not. There's no way I can be fast enough to plan this trade. That's it. The UFO is gone. So I knew that was going to happen. So instead, I'm gonna put my energy in Nasdaq. Okay, Nasdaq has a defined climate, just defined to the downside. And by the way, I may need to change the symbol. Yes, I'm still using the Z symbol here because it's a few days that we have not traded the Nasdaq here in the session. So I need to change that to the H, isn't it? NQH20. Gold, a pop higher, new UFO form around the same. Okay, nice, nice one, perfect. Okay, I need to go back and review this trade because maybe it's not the same for us anymore. But anyway, Nasdaq. So what's going on? Pushing hard to the downside. The Nasdaq defining a climate to the downside. One candle out of 3.73. So certainly nice time to enter. Average 87.87. Let's call it 87.88. 87.88 certainly lines up very nice with that UFO. Yes. So we have an entry here for the Nasdaq. Okay. So target. Let's activate AutoUFO for the Nasdaq, looking for a green UFO, which will qualify as our target. Okay. So what is our target for the Nasdaq? Our target for the Nasdaq is NQ 8766.00. That's the target. Okay. That is the target. Okay. Okay. Come on. Okay, I'm having a little problem here where my TradeStation is not reacting. So I guess it's, even though it's supposed to be a day with not that much liquidity, I guess many trades, major amount of trades are entering the market because my TradeStation, it's not being able to keep up with all the data coming in, which is surprising. I may have some charts out there set up. Okay. Oh, yeah, price already went there. Okay, guys, you saw what happened? You saw what just happened there? It went to the UFO and then it dropped. Okay, so the UFO is gone. But there is another one on the right, isn't it? 88.75, 87.93. Yeah. So yeah, so it's a new UFO. It's not the same as before. My God, I'm having an issue here with my TradeStation, which is not reacting to me. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do the same thing I did before, guys. Sorry for that. I'm gonna have to kill TradeStation. Major quantity of trading going on. Huge quantity of trading. So yeah, just killing TradeStation. Okay, well, it was a long time. We were not having any tech issue, and today being the last day of the year, that was not my plan. But anyway, we need to keep cool here. And again, the market is providing opportunities, and I certainly want to explore those opportunities with a cool head. And if they meet the rules, I'll take the trades. So if you are experiencing something like me today, or this happens to you any other day, keep it cool, restart, and be ready to attack again. Okay, and that's it. That's what it is. Okay, don't kill it. That's extreme. Very nice, Mark. Very nice. How are you, Pansy? Nice to see you. Okay, so almost there. So the more trades enters the market, obviously the more intense it becomes for TradeStation to process everything TradeStation has to process, and we know the quantity of candles on the chart, etc., have an impact. Uh, I'm honestly I'm a little surprised that things have happened the way they have happened. Even now, reloading my TradeStation for whatever reason, something is running very slow on my machine for whatever reason. So I don't think maybe I don't think it's TradeStation. I think there is something running on my computer a little slow. But anyway, so what do we have on the future markets? We got nothing golden color at this moment. I want, out of curiosity, I want to go ahead and review. Okay, it was not allowing me to switch to S&P either. So something's going on here on my end. Anyway, so yeah, major move, and this probably, well, not probably, but this certainly puts us in a position where the trade I was going to plan on the Nasdaq cannot be executed unless you were able to do it super fast and be in. Okay, you can see the sentiment that is being developed in the beginning of today's trading day, where it seems that most of the institutional traders are quite bearish, or either they are very bearish for the beginning of the year, or they want to collect a lot of the profits made throughout the year before the year ends, and get out, so they restart trading next year with fresh accounts. Okay, guys, I'm sorry to do what I'm about to do, but I am really feeling that my TradeStation is not working the way it should. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna reboot my machine here to make sure everything is smooth, because at the moment it's not. In the meantime, though, so we don't waste time, I'm gonna go ahead and look at the US dollar, Canadian dollar, because we did see earlier in it a golden light flashing on the US dollar, Canadian dollar. Okay, so I would like to take a look at that while my TradeStation is rebooting behind the scenes. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, so we are looking at a US dollar, Canadian dollar 60-minute time frame. So we have a climate defined with a thick dot, okay, red thick dot, 2 candles out of 465. So certainly the right direction in which to trade is to the downside. The average price is 130.69, and unfortunately that is more or less what the price is, but we don't have a UFO there unless we move up all the way to 91 to 81, which that would be higher. Okay, so that is not a valid trade setup. Okay, so that one is not good. I'm going to go ahead and re-enter my windows here. Here we go. The other one I think that was flashing was the US dollar Swiss franc. Nice job, Ahmad. I see you are in the gold trade as well. Very nice. So the US dollar Swiss franc, yeah, I don't think that was that one. Maybe it was the US dollar yen. Yeah, I don't think it was that one either. So let me reboot TradeStation because my Windows machine is back to normal. So I would like to now reboot it. So I'm going to be re-logging in, and then hopefully we're back to normal. Okay, that would be ideal. Okay, so I'm just gonna have a little tour to see the other currencies. So Aussie, US dollar, what do we have? Climate 5 out of 8. Yeah, it could be a candidate. Euro 112. So the euro restarting an up climate, it seems. UFOs located at 87. The average is 95, so that's not good. Pound. Let me input my password. Whoop, so we can look at the pound. Okay, so the pound, what do we have with the pound? Climate is defined, and yeah, and we do, actually we don't. The average is here, and the UFO is below that. What about the Kiwi, NZD, USD? Very, very powerful move. Climate 5 out of 5. The average is down here, and yes, we do have this bottom UFO could be candidate, but we are a little far from the entry, and we've already seen the other ones. Okay, so anyway, let's see if TradeStation loads properly now and everything is a little better. So you have the stop now mark moved up to 1516.9 with the new UFO that form on the gold chart. Okay, well, I love that you guys are managing the trade on your end, and also sharing it with the rest of the group. This is exactly what I meant earlier with teamwork. So thank you so much for doing that, because it's being very, very helpful for the group, especially given my little technology hiccup today. So thanks for that, and I am now getting ready to get into the gold chart so I can see myself and look at other opportunities. Okay, so we'll restart gold. By the way, I do have an order in the gold, isn't it? And that order is likely not going to be valid anymore, because being 9:42 a.m. in New York, we had already two updates on the climate, and therefore probably that moving average has moved higher, and my entry will not be valid any longer, isn't it? Well, actually, it seems I've got filled. Yeah, I've got filled while I was rebooting TradeStation. Okay, nice. So I've got filled, and it went all the way to the safety target. So nice to see. Um, I was blind, obviously, while I was rebooting, so I didn't know this has happened. So 15, 5 would be the location for the UFO in my case. Okay, so I'm gonna move my stop to 15, 5. So here's my stop. 15, 5 would be right there. Okay, so that would be the new location for my stop. Okay, because those UFOs form after I got filled. Okay, so nice one. Okay, well, that's probably filled. Sometimes letting it run is the best management. Yeah, sometimes it depends on the climate, right? So right now we got a climate of 3 out of 584, so we still have room for this movement to develop, at least based on probabilities. So we will see what happens. Okay, cool. Okay, anyway, so let's continue. What else do we have there? The US dollar CAD here, we already checked. On the futures markets, we got nothing on the left. On the right side, it seems that we do have a few more flashing lights, but GBP Swiss franc is gray color. GBP AUD is also gray color, so the climate is not confirmed. So we need to pass on those. And then those two here, the GBP yen and the New Zealand dollar yen, those are confirmed, but we have the word hopeful, and actually it's very hopeful because it's 16 candles already moving in that direction. 16 candles when probabilities were suggesting 5, so certainly way too stretched. Okay, so we need to wait at this moment in time, be patient. with new opportunities that may form, since at this moment in time nothing is actionable given its distance with the entry point. Okay, US dollar cut here, uh, almost going to hit zero point 0.5, and it would flash golden if that's the case, but it's hopeful, so that one is not good. This is 222111, so that's too far. 11122, yeah, 069. So the Aussie US dollar may be something that we need to check later on. We got a sensible with the crude oil that is just flashing right here. Okay, but the climate is not confirmed, as you can see with crude oil, so we will pass on that one. What else we have? GBP Swiss franc just flashed here on the right with a near sensible short. Okay, so let's go take a look at the pound Swissy. So pound Swissy, 4-hour time frame. Okay, so pound Swissy, 4-hour time frame. Let's see what we've got. Okay, and I see as well, I missed you earlier, Dirk. You are in the pound New Zealand trade, so good to see. New UFO on the gold chart. Thanks for that, Mark. So when that happens, we need to move our stop. In this case, it would be 17.2. Okay, so 17.2 is going to be all the way there, which means that we're gonna get executed, okay, in a minute, or I should be out, okay, because a minute ago it went there, so I should be out. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it there, and therefore this trade would be concluded with, let's say anywhere between $350 to $400 profit. That would be the end result for this particular trade. Okay, so probably most of you are out of this trade now, depending on the rules that you use for management. Anyway, so back to the Swiss pound Swiss franc. Okay, so we have one thick red dot, 1 out of 5. Certainly nice time to enter a new climate developing. Average 127.45. Yeah, well, we do have one UFO here on the range time frame, but we really realistically we cannot take this trade. This is a 1 pip UFO, 1 pip UFO on a cross pair, which has less liquidity than other pairs. Really, that's basically market noise. We cannot, even though we have it there, so we cannot really have an entry at this point and have a stop like 7 pips above just to add the pips that we add based on the rules. That would make no sense to have more room for the stop than the amount of room in the trading zone. Therefore, this would not be a valid trade. Okay, so back to our matrix. So what else do we have? Well, the Australian dollar is giving us an alert in the 60-minute time frame. Okay, 60-minute time frame. So let's go ahead and take a look. 60-minute time frame, Aussie dollar. So we have climate is loading. Here we go. So we got 5 out of 8. So this is a valid time for the entry. 69.94. That would be the location for the entry. 69.94. It's actually right here. So yes, indeed, this UFO lines up well with the average, as you can see. Okay, so that's lining up well. The only thing to keep in mind is that we are going to have to use the below UFO2, that one at night at 89, because obviously if you add 5 pips of wiggle room below 91, then that's going to overlap with 89, and therefore our stop will be located actually below 84. Okay, so looking good from an entry point of view. So let's take a look at a potential target for the Aussie US dollar. We're going to do that using the common time frame 60. We are going to activate AutoUFOs to find out where the next red UFO is located at in this particular time frame. And if I scroll this down, well, interesting. Well, that's pretty surprising that we have nothing red above. Okay, well, that's what it is what it is. The AutoUFOs does not qualify any of the market data above price to be significant enough to plot a UFO. Therefore, we don't have a UFO, which we could call UFO using this time frame. And therefore, when you have a case like this, the only way to end up finding some sort of a UFO is to go for the next common time frame, which in this case is going to be 4 hours. Okay, and hopefully now, as everything loads, we will find some red on the screen, which this time we do have. Okay, and remember, when we are trading or reacting to a UFO in the current candle, then we go use the next candle as the target. In this case, that's going to be 70.17. Okay, so for the Aussie dollar CAD, 70.17, that will be the target. Okay, and remember, I had to change from 60 minutes to 4 hours, which is not a normal thing to be done or less common, but sometimes we have to. And when we have to, we just do it. Okay, so here we go. So we have the entry and we have the target, and therefore we are ready now to put this trade in place. Okay, so yeah, all is good. So we are talking about 69.95. Okay, so good. So let me go ahead and use my Word document so I can go ahead and input all the values. Now, of course, this is a long trade. So with a long trade, what's going to happen is that the stop is below the entry, and the entry is not short, it's long. Okay, and therefore the final target and the safety target, they will both be above price instead of below price. Okay, they will all be above price instead of below price. So it will look like that. Okay, so the final target, we said it before, is going to be 0.7017, and because we sell and we sell to the bid, so we don't need to do any change to that price, so we just leave it as 0.7017, which is what we read on the chart. The safety target, I need to calculate that, so I'll come back to that in a minute. The entry, for the entry, we said I'm going to use 0.6985. That's going to be the entry. The stop, we said, is going to be 0.6984. That's our reference. And from there, we need to add 5 additional pips for the wiggle room. So that's going to be 79. So 69.79. And then now we're going to pick a calculator, which I thought I left open, but I closed. So I'm just going to open a new calculator here. Here we go. And we're going to do the math, which is, I just input a U here by mistake. So the math would be 0.6985 minus 0.6979. That is 16 pips. So if I add 16 pips to 69.95, that is telling me that my safety target is 0.7011. Okay, well, technically the trade is valid. Okay, the trade is valid in the sense that and this has to do with your question earlier or your comment, Mark. So the final target is beyond the safety target. So the trade is valid from that point of view. But I guess, and I'm just going to use common sense here instead of using a rule. I guess that we agree that, making additional 6 pips after you get to safety, well, it's not what I would call a very juicy trade. Is that making sense? So I'm just going to pass on this one, even though it's a valid setup. And really, if you want to trade it I would say for practice purposes, it's certainly not wrong. But I'm sure you understand I'm not so excited about it. And therefore, I'm just going to say we pass on it. Okay. Ray, you are in the Aussie trade. So I see your comment. So again, good one, especially if you look at it from the point of view of practice. Okay. From the profitability point of view, of course, is a very limited profitability, since the most you will make is 6 additional pips, and obviously that is not so much. Okay, so okay, am I out of the gold trade? Yes, I am out. That's it. Okay, so that was the trade with gold. You guys, Bojan, Dirk, also Bill, you ended up with a better result than mine, isn't it? Because my entry was a little higher, yours was a little lower. Okay, so nice one. Just reading your comments here. Bill, Jose, on futures autoclimate, you use both 15, 60, and 240 common timeframes. What criteria do you use to differentiate? Liquidity. okay, liquidity, and you can see this here. Okay, so if I close my gold chart, right, and I show you the list, okay, and again we talked about this, by the way, in some of the sharpening sessions. Okay, so you look at the average trading, you see those four columns: custom, 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 custom. Okay, so I remember showing you that was actually a long time ago, so let me show you again. So if you look at what that column is, edit custom one. So what that column does is looking at the volume, okay, at the volume of one day. Okay, that's what that column is looking at. Okay, and you can see that all the markets on the top got more volume than the markets on the bottom. Japanese yen is not so bad, but certainly natural gas and also lean hogs, you can see the volume is much less. Okay, what is the next column? Well, the next column is how come it's not showing? Oh, yes, of course. That is very silly of me, because that one has a formula which is different for each symbol. Okay, so what is the input? Well, the input is the difference between the high and the low, and this is a multiply times a multiplier. So that way you end up measuring, per day, or per point, I should say, per day, times the point value, how much money could you make per contract? So it gives you a feel for the profitability of those different contracts. Okay. The next one, okay, which is well, that one is the same for all. No, I don't think so. No, actually, that one is not a formula. Okay, I'm sorry for that. I'm just talking out of my memory. Those are just inputs that I made. So I just typed that value. So this is the margin requirement, depending on some brokers, for those different contracts. So this is the amount of money you need to trade one contract. And finally, here on the right, you have the tick value. So one tick on crude oil is $10. One tick on the S&P is 12.5. One tick on the Nasdaq is $5. So basically, you are looking a little bit at liquidity. You are looking at margin requirement, and you are also looking at the daily profitability per contract if you were to catch the low of the day and ride it all the way to the high of the day. And based on all those parameters, okay, that's how I decide which are the markets where I want to be more active with and the markets that I want to be less active with. At this moment in time, you would say, oh, wait a minute, crude oil is quite disappointed. Okay, and it happens to be like that just because we are in this holiday season, and then some of these values are distorted. But if you were to look at this during a normal period of trading during the year, normally you would notice that the 5 contracts I got on the top are way more liquid compared to the contracts in the bottom, and therefore the less liquid they are, or the more slow they move, the more I want to use them in a higher time frame. The faster the move and the more liquid they are, the more I want to use them in a lower time frame and be more active. Okay, so that's what I do. Okay, that's what I have here. Nice, dear. Yeah, perfect. Good job. Okay, so let's continue. So the Australian dollar, we already said it's a good one for our practice, but not much more. We also have the Aussie New Zealand showing up here with a sensible short, 2 candles out of 5. Okay, so let's go take a look at the Aussie Kiwi. Okay, so we're traveling to Asia now. Australia, New Zealand. Hello, my friends. So what do we have here? 2 thick dots, red color, confirmed down climate, 2 out of 5. Very nice. Average is located at 10409, and unfortunately we do not have any UFO at this price on the 21-minute time frame. As well, we don't have any UFO at this price on the range time frame either. So we don't have a valid entry here, even though we have a valid setup. It doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever, okay? But certainly we still got 3 hours to go until that candle updates in the 4-hour time frame, isn't it? And therefore, in this 3-hour period, you may see price come up, form a nice UFO, and then you can take the trade. But as we speak, as we are together in today's session, we don't have the opportunity to take this trade. Okay. What else? What else? Pound Swiss franc. We already checked. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it seems that we are reaching the top of the hour. 3 seconds to go here. We're reaching the top of the hour with all the opportunities that we were presented with explored together. And I'm just reviewing all the table just in case I'm missing something, but I don't think so. Well, here we go. Natural gas is flashing an alert, but notice how it's a climate not being confirmed, gray color. So therefore, we will discard that one. And yeah, same here with the US dollar CAD, not confirmed. Yeah. So yeah. So my friends, I am about to conclude the session for today. Again, sorry for the little hiccup with the technology, but in any case, I'm very happy to see that you guys are becoming very nicely independent, and the more my role is to be a guide, and in the sense of guiding you only, and therefore you can do this by yourself when I'm not around. So that means that we are doing a better job. Okay, and I'm very glad to see that even though I had this little technology hiccup with, for whatever reason, my transition being very slow today, you guys were able to execute the trade and then comment on the chat box, and make your comments when it comes to trade management as well. And that's very nice to see, guys. Very nice to see. And maybe it's actually the best way to conclude the year, where you actually led that particular trade instead of I did. Okay, so I'll take it this way, and certainly proud of you guys. I do want to say that very clearly. During this year, we've been doing so many things together, and your emails show lots of dedication, lots of commitment, lots of hard work, lots of passion, lots of discipline, a lot of many of the good ingredients to be a good trader. And I do want to congratulate you on that, because that's the way to go, and at the same time, it makes me very, very proud. So good job, keep it up, more and better next year, isn't it? And I'm just gonna say bye to everybody, a super special goodbye, because of course it's the last time this year. So happy new year, everybody. I wish you to have a fantastic end of this year. It's just like a day and a half, and that's it, the year is over. It's crazy. And I wish you as well, of course, a fantastic entrance of the new year, and lots of good time, good friends, good family, good people around you, and then having a very powerful year trading wise. And we're gonna kill it out there. So looking forward to continue this work into the next year, which will be the last year of the decade. Okay, so if this one we made it count, next year has to count even more. So those are my final words for the year, guys. And again, looking forward to see you soon. And again, keep up the good work, guys. That's been amazing to spend time with you, and really appreciate your support and being around, and your words and everything, guys. It's difficult to express, really. Thank you so much. You guys take care, everybody. Bye bye.